Good afternoon, the Phil Show. Talking about tailgating, because it's time. WNOX Wine Cellar.com. On there, sponsored by Farragut Wine and Spirits, you will find recipes submitted by the Fun Girl. We invite you to submit yours. David, we were talking off there. This is it's a living thing. We want to make it more alive.
Well, yeah, because we're with the website's really a lifestyle website. It's meant for people who want to learn about wine and maybe spirits and food, and combining the food and spirits and wines. Well, I didn't say that right exactly. You want to combine spirits and wine with your food to get that information from the website. We're building the content. We're asking people today to submit their recipes for drinks, for food, by going to the website, going to the recipe page, and clicking on the
and it's easy to do.
To submit the recipes.
Yeah.
So we're going to put those on the website, so you'll have your recipes there. But you're helping us build content for other people who want to, learn about what people are making for tailgating, and what kind of drinks they're having.
More people, I think, are. It seems to me, anyway. Maybe it's because I'm older that more people have become foodies and lovers of good wine. It seems to me now that, like people like Farragut Wine and Spirits and Ash's Wine, it seems like you stock more good wine, also the mid-level wine. And before we went to break, I was asking you, what are some of the misconceptions about, getting a wine? Let's say you're having dinner with someone, you're going to bring a bottle of wine, or you have a wine cellar or a wine cooler at home and you want to stock this up. I mean, I've got friends who went to South Carolina and they came back, they went to some place and his car would barely pull a hill because he had so much wine in his, people say, oh, this is good, I love this, or I mean, friends who go to another country or to another state, if there's a winery there, oh, I'll get so-and-so a bottle of wine, they love it. Talk about those people and the misconceptions and what are we looking for?
There's a lot of wine out there. I mean, there's no way that Thad or myself can carry all the product that's out in the market. I mean, it's just phenomenal how much wines there is. But, misperceptions. Everybody says you had to drink white wine with fish, you had to drink red wine with meat. Well, we're not quite the meat and potato society we used to be. We're now, eating a lot of different diverse foods from different cultures. And it sort of starts to throw those perceptions out the window. So you try to compare. What I go by is big food, big wine.
Okay.
So, like we were talking about earlier, a steak to me is a Cabernet. It may not be for somebody else. Other people may not like Cabernet. They may not like the sulfites, or it just doesn't go well with their palate. But you can start to experiment and start to play with it a little bit. I mean, there's so many different wines and different levels of intensity. I mean, you got really light white wines that are just fantastic, or sitting around in the hot weather and drinking some cold. Then you got the big red wines that people say I want to drink them in the winter time. But we got people buy Cabernet all summer long. I mean, there's the perception being is whites for the summer, reds for the winter. That's gone out the window. I mean, it's just people like wine. And it's just a lot of fun to experiment with it, but you don't have to spend a lot of money on a bottle of wine. I mean, it's easy to go and buy $200 for a bottle of wine, and you're going to get a good bottle of wine, you hope. But the other side is, why not spend $15 and experiment in a range that's been more price competitive for you, and you can experiment with a lot of different wines. I mean, wines from all over the world.
A lot of people are keeping wine diaries, and that's probably a good idea. If you find something you like in a $15 to $20 range, you write it down, you remember it, you're going to go back to it. All right.
Yeah. And your more sophisticated stores, as Ash's and ourselves, we keep a database on what you buy, your buying patterns. So if you came in and bought a bottle and you can't remember what it was, you can come in and ask one of our assistants, and they're going to be able to look it up and say, okay, you bought this on your last visit or the visit before. You think that was it, and you can take you over and show you the label and say, is this the one? So you get assistance from a good wine store.
Yeah. You also bought a blow-up doll, 4D battery. I'm kidding about that. You talked, Thad, about your and obviously we're all Tennessee fans in here. I mean, some of us may be more.
Let's see.
Some of us may be more than others. But you said it didn't matter what game, if it was a day game, night game, you had a ritual that you go through.
Bloody Marys. It always starts with Bloody Marys. I love them. Whether it's, like I said, 11 o'clock game or if it's an 8 p.m. game, we always start Bloody Marys. And then we'll break out to, bourbon or wine or rum or whatever, and I'll usually have 2 Bloody Marys, and then I'll break out into maybe something else. But
sweat.
One Kentucky. Oh my goodness, it's great.
Yeah. So my recipe is a 24-ounce cup. You know, with
So you have two 24-ounce Bloody Marys.
Yeah, I got
Wow,
one.
there you go.
But
You guys were, you know, there's so many different kinds of vodkas and whatever, but you were talking, all of y'all said something I was unfamiliar with. You say, doesn't matter what vodka as long as you pour it with Zip Zap?
Zing Zang.
Zing Zang.
Zing Zang.
Bloody Mary. Zing Zang Bloody
the
Mary.
Bloody Mary mix is very important.
Very.
And I've got a good friend of mine who we tailgate, and his job on Fridays, because I'm pretty busy on Fridays with the tailgaters coming in, so his job on Fridays is go out in the market, and we've bought every type of Bloody Mary mix that's out there. And there's some really good ones and there's some really bad ones. But a Bloody Mary mix really can make a really good Bloody Mary going just right, you know. So, but Zing Zang is one it's fairly commercial. You can find it just about in a lot of different places. We carry it at the store, and it is a fantastic Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
That's important. It's an important ingredient.
Yeah, used to there was just like Mr. and Mrs. T's, and then you had no Mr. T and what? I pity fool, don't buy it. All right.
Don't buy that.
Yeah, that's all right. Ladies, any other final advice before we wrap up? We're going to get back together, we hope, on September the 11th. I'm not sure that's the greatest day to get together, but it's actually a good day to celebrate. Always, but it's right before the home game, so and that just dawned on me what the anniversary of that was. But still, that may be okay. We're going to get back together and talk about the perimeters of tailgating, because I was unaware that there were tailgating police now.
Oh, yeah.
And if your chair is over the line, they come by and then they slap your hand or hit you with scalding water or something.
Write down your ticket number. Write down your
Your
parking.
parking, oh, these people are.
You can get a letter.
WNOX Wine Cellar.com. WNOX Wine Cellar.com. Give us your feedback, your recipes. Print out the ones we have. Share with us. We would love to, and we will see these folks again. Our thanks to David Purvis, Farragut Wine and Spirit, Thad Cox, Ashes Wine and Spirits, and all of the fun girls. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah.